Since the early 1950s, Rocky Flats has been the great invisible secret of this area. For more than 40 years, they produced 70,000 plutonium triggers for nuclear bombs right in our backyard, and no one knew. And the legacy of Rocky Flats continues to the present day. So we're out here at the west gate of Rocky Flats, where we all used to come into work every day. And now, of course, it looks a lot different than it used to. And now the site is closed. 1/3 of the site is so profoundly contaminated that it can never be open for human habitation. And then the rest of the site is slated to open as a national wildlife refuge area for public recreation and hiking and biking, even though a great deal of contamination remains on and off site. One of the great ironies of my life, I think, is that I worked for several years in Europe as a travel writer, traveling around the world looking for good things to write about. And it turns out that the most important story that I had to tell was quite literally in my own backyard. But it took me a long time to realize that. And when I came back from Germany, I'd wanted to watch the Berlin Wall come down. We had to come back before that happened, and it happened just a couple of weeks later. And I turned on the television and I was watching the Berlin Wall come down and all the people celebrating. And all of a sudden this little light went off in my head, and I thought, oh my God, there's a connection between what's happening in Germany and what's happening in my own backyard, that there's a connection with the Cold War. And people think the Cold War is over now. But for us here in Arvada, those of us who lived near here, grew up here, who worked at the plant, the Cold War was not over. It continued, and it continues to the present day.